Hey guys, welcome back. Yes, it is extremely painful being extremely right all of the time. Usually I'm able to predict the future a little bit on some of this stuff because we've seen it play out so many times before. This is one of those examples. I just didn't think it would be this quickly. This is insane. This blows my mind that it happened. I surprised even myself. So if you haven't seen it, I made a video a couple weeks ago that was titled PSA is going to resolve the middleman issue with another middleman. So if you haven't watched that video, I will put a link to that down below. I suggest you check it out. Essentially, the Ludkins issue where the people sent their cards to a middleman, an official middleman, to get them sent to PSA. Because it's a little bit difficult. I know PSA should have, but does not have their own establishment, even if it's a forwarding service in the UK, to send cards to the US, where they get graded. Ludkins did not pay the bill. There was a whole fallout. Ludkins was blaming PSA. PSA was blaming Ludkins for the incident. Customers' cards were tied up. There's a whole ordeal where the information wasn't being sent to PSA, so PSA could send them back. There was a huge mess. So in order to resolve this mess, and this was my criticism, this was the main point of the video. A lot of people didn't see that was the point. My point was that middlemen should not exist. Ludkins was huge, and even I at one point in time didn't think that it was an issue to send your cards through Ludkins, that you wouldn't have to deal with the mess that was the result of what happened there. So at that point in time, I made a video back then when that happened, and my advice was never use a middleman, send the cards yourself. If PSA really wants to capture that business overseas, then they need to have their own establishment so they have control over that, so they don't have the same thing happen again. We had it happen with Mark's cards, we had it happen with Ludkins, and now for some reason they think it's a good idea to get another middleman or official dealer, whatever the hell you want to call them, Dan's Pokestop, who was very upset with the video here. My criticism was not of him. Today it's going to be because we have some shady behavior. Already, 2 weeks later, after my warning, the warning, to be fair, was more about PSA. Dan, I guess, took it more of a warning to not use his services. So he was upset. He was in the comments. Let's see what he has to say. And then we'll get into how he gave up everyone's personal information and then tried to hide it. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with today. So, another learning lesson. I you know what? Totally gave him the benefit of the doubt. People were like, oh, we love Dan's Pokestop. He's the greatest. Even though he's much smaller than anyone that previously messed up. We were going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He was going to fix everything. No one was concerned at any point. But here's what Dan's Pokestop had to say. And Dan, if you'd like to chat, we can definitely have one of those. But you messed up here. You messed up really bad, and you proved once again why why grading companies should not allow middleman services whatsoever. You're just adding steps. You're adding steps. They don't have control over it. And you know what? They're probably just cheaping out in order to do so. But someday, maybe they'll learn from their mistake. Dan's Pokestop says, hey Rattle, nice of you to have made a video sharing your opinions with your viewers on this. I think it's only fair to set the record straight. We're proud as a company to step up to help the UK and European collecting community with resolving the return of their collectibles involved in this issue. As a PSA dealer, you are now contracted to pay in full at the time of submission, as well as provide all customers submission info and contact information for the purpose of continuation of service to prevent any situations like this ever occurring again. That's not the only situation that could occur, as we're going to see today. You're a risk. You're high risk. You're high risk for PSA. You're high risk for customers, even if you have good intentions, even if you did originally. But now you're trying to hide something from your customers, and that's where you're going to get a no-no spank on the buns. By me. Metaphorical one. I'm not actually going to spank you. I know you'd like that, but that is not what we're here for. Rather than using available information to all to spin a negative towards collectors, it's a shame you couldn't use this as a positive for all those involved, and I'm sure those who have already had thousands of cards returned since we began this process a few weeks back would agree. We're a good thing for collectors. Woo! That is gonna age like something really bad. Maybe when we're complete, you'll be able to make a video of our success in returning cards to all those involved and make a positive video for a change. We got positive videos here. I guess this is not one. Well, I mean, it's positive that maybe it'll make change happen with these grading companies if they somehow learn. They haven't learned in the past, but maybe they'll learn this time. Thanks for highlighting us via YouTube, for those who may not know, so they can reach out to us to discuss helping return their cards. Also, we've been going through the dealer application process for a year before this, so no, it wasn't awarded as a trophy, smiley face. All the best, Dan. All right, Dan. I hear you. And this is how in the world do you already mess up, and do I find out about it 2 weeks after making this video, and you're like, oh yeah, we're the best and we're going to do everything right for the customers. You're doing it for the customers, right? You wouldn't hide something from the customers, like the fact that anyone that was submitting orders through you, all of their information was leaked. Spoiler alert. That's what we're looking at today. My apologies if you were any of these people, and Dan's Pokestop and their staff did not want to advise you on that, even though it seems like it is, it's law. Weird. We're breaking laws now. Again, a lot of this pop-up crap, whether it's whatnot sellers, etc., they don't know how to run a business necessarily, and definitely not one on scale. That is why I say time and time again, PSA, stop cheaping out and just build your own establishment in the UK. That's all it takes. Then you have full control over it. You don't have these vulnerabilities where customers' information is entirely leaked and entirely available to anyone that wants to go and grab it. Ridiculous. You're going to want to watch this video to the end for the entirety of the information here. There's a lot of it, and the evidence is pretty damning. So I don't believe that Dan's Pokestop was intentionally showing everyone's personal information, but what they did in reaction to it being shown to them was not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. So I had someone reach out to me who will remain unnamed for the sake of the video, at least. And they say, Monday the 20th, I was messing around with the Dan's Pokestop website, specifically the order tracker page. So this is only a week after my video. As I noticed, there was a goofy tracking system that was completely unauthenticated. You can take any order number and still can. Well, you can at this time. I guess they're working on that. And see any order number's submission. That was only the beginning. When inspecting the page element and looking at the network response to the order number query, the result was coming back with orders, full names, addresses, phone numbers, home addresses, etc. All the information on the form, on the submission itself, was very available. So to all the people that were in the comments saying that Dan would never do anything wrong, well, let's take a look at what their actions were involving this, while you guys were all left in the dark, that all of your information was very available. Here are the DMs between the individual that found the vulnerability and reported it to them, and the Dan's Pokestop staff themselves. So Dan's Pokestop, I guess we'll make them the French cowboy for the sake of the video. I know everyone is going to scream at me if I do not. So we have anonymous individual who found the vulnerability that says, "Hey there, I've reached out to Dan on Facebook regarding a highly confidential issue. Is someone able to nudge him to look out for a message from myself?" They say, "Hi, redacted name. Thanks for contacting Dan's Pokestop. Before one of the team comes back to you, please look on our website, as most of our facts cover most people's inquiry. The link for the fact is danspokestop.co.uk/fact. If you still need help, then one of them will be in touch shortly. But please be aware, our opening times are 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. Saturdays, and we are closed on Sundays. You might not receive a reply out of these hours. Thank you." So wait, was this a copy paste? Because they forget, or did someone actually type this in? "Hey buddy, Ant here. I work directly for Dan. Unfortunately, he isn't accepting personal messages currently with any work-related stuff. I can, however, help if you need. Well, you would think that's something that's like highly confidential issue, etc. It should have been probably more clear in the original message too, what it was about, what was going on, and that it was very urgent. I know I get some of these messages too sometimes where there's not enough information for me to know right away whether or not it needs my direct attention right away, or if it's something that like maybe I can just like discuss and get some more information later. So when you guys send me stuff, I also need to ask you guys, please, for the love of God, send everything to Discord. I'm going to have to funnel everything through Discord because when I'm behind, people are sending it to multiple platforms and it's just creating more of a bottleneck for me to get all this information. So from now on, only taking I guess video ideas and problems and etc. from Discord itself. That way I just avoid duplicate stuff. It's also much easier for me to search and find and get through everything on Discord than it is on Instagram, etc. So put it through the Discord. So our anonymous says, "Hey Ant, I'm a customer of Dan's Pokestop. My day job is a web dev. I've been messing around with the new website trying to break things, and I found a massive data leak on the order tracking page. Would it be possible to arrange a video call with you guys so I can run you through this?" They give the phone number and say, "Feel free to give me a call, buddy." Is it like, it's weird. I don't know. I usually think people are being disrespectful when they call you buddy or little fella or pal or things like that. It seems like passive aggressive, but maybe in the UK it's not. Maybe saying buddy instead of like someone's actual name, etc. isn't. Usually this is like if some whatnot dude is being a scam dogger and he's upset with me. Usually I get the buddy treatment. But you guys let me know down below. Don't worry, towards the end of the video here, we are going to take a look at what sort of laws and or rules this is breaking. But we got to take a look at all the information first. I want there to be, we're not going to have any doubt that this is what's going on, this is what's happening. We have here a clip of the anonymous individual running some order numbers that he confirmed had orders attached to them. On the left hand side, I'm clearly going to have to blur this, but on the left hand side we have the order number, the blurred thing on the left. The blurred thing on the right is definitely have to blur this because it is the entirety of the customer's information. Again, the phone number, address, all of that, name, all of that stuff that shouldn't be publicly available but is. So here's the liability. Here's the problem. It's going to be it can be a million different things. The problem is PSA does not have control over this stuff. And no, I'm not in any way saying that this was Dan's Pokestop or that it was their fault, that they did any of this stuff on purpose. But what they did do on purpose, what is very clear, is the fact that they're hiding this from everyone who should be notified. If your data, if your information, if your phone number and home address and full name are made publicly available by them, they should be advising you and telling you about it. It's sad that I have to make a video telling you about it. Instead, it's sad that I have to talk to PSA, that I have to send them a message and warn them about the fact that like, hey, you guys messed up again. I know I warned you not to do this. And no, they don't have to take a little Rattle Pokemon's advice on every single thing that they do. But I mean, they know that this exists. They went against what should have been better judgment. No, I'm not saying that any and all middlemen have bad intentions. I'm just saying that it's a bad idea because when you're a business that's the size of PSA, you have certain standards and you can't withhold, you can't keep those standards across board when you have these like little partner companies, etc. It's gonna result in bad things every time. It's just a matter of time. Sometimes it's a week later after I make a warning video. 2 weeks later when I make a video about it showing you guys. And sorry to laugh about that. It's weird that it happened already. And I do feel for the people that had their data compromised. I don't know what sort of repercussions or what can happen regarding that. And what sort of like legal liability is in place there. Maybe if there's a lawyer from the UK that knows a little bit more about this stuff, you can speak on that. But even ethically, people deserve to know when you oopsie doopsied their personal information on your website. That was not part of their agreement. They didn't know that was happening. They still don't know what's happening until they watch this video, because he hid it from them. And we're going to take a look at that too. So Anonymous says that they naturally did what they thought was the right thing and ran Ant, the person that works directly for Dan, through what they found over a video call. We have some messages here between Anonymous and Ant. Hey buddy, can you check that now? Still on there. Are you using anything for caching? Might need a flush, smiley face. Let me do that now. If no, a quick fix might be to authenticate the search box by adding an email field that needs to match the invoice table. Then it doesn't matter what's in the query. Smiley face with the blushy cheeks. Now that should have done it. Try that, LOL. For the order I found, we're going to have to blur that out too. There's a lot of blurring that's going to have to go on in these DMs and emails in order to keep these safe. Not emails, and messages. The video is going to be full of blurs, guys. It's going to look like I uploaded straight up adult cinema to YouTube. And I found email and phone are still in the query, and the card name has dropped off. So he's very nice of this individual, this anonymous individual, for telling them what the situation was, what they needed to fix. This is all part of the process, and all they need to do now, basically now that they found this, is first fix the issue. They have 72 hours to do so, and spoiler alert, fix the issue and advise everyone that their data was compromised. Their information, their personal information was compromised. Pretty straightforward, right? Pretty honest, pretty awesome of Dan's. What? They didn't do that. They didn't do any of that. Rattle Pokemon has to tell you that your information was compromised. Okay, all right, I'm just checking, just making sure. All right, now Anonymous says to me, just for transparency, this is the image that was sent to Ant. They also say, over video and message, I explained the simplest way to sort this is to add an email input to authenticate a user when searching an order. We went back and forth and aided them in removing the data off the tracking form. However, Ant said the names are not able to be removed from the query. So still to this day, someone can search any order number and find the full name of the user. So yeah, the full name of the user, not as bad, still shouldn't be there, still shouldn't be an issue. And again, this is what, when you have a big business or a small business pretending to be a big business and they don't have all of the security in place, you got problems. At least now you can't get the phone number, address, etc. is associated to the individuals. Pretty wild that I don't, guys. You can't even. All right, so this was fine with, and was hoping within 72 hours, Dan's Pokestop would have done the right thing and reported this to the community. I'm 100% agree. They definitely should have done that, and we're going to take a look at why they should have done that in a minute, or in a few minutes. I don't know. I didn't plan this out all that well. But then people on Facebook started being unable to track orders, missing info, etc. Wild. Anonymous tells me this really frustrated them as page admins. I feel were covering up what happened by saying they were just updating the website. So we have posts like this where one of their customers says, anyone else's order just suddenly vanish even though you literally checked the day before. Always a bit worrying. I agree. I'm not worrying for the same way that you think it should be worrying, but definitely a concern. Okay, so here's where it looks pretty bad. Not only you have a little bit of customers that are concerned. We have the comments in the post here. We have concerned customer who says, yep, I have had order number vanish a day or two ago after seeing it up there for a while. Also, one of my orders, order number, combined into another order number on the tracker. I figured I'd wait until we've had confirmation that everything should be up to date in 7-ish days before emailing support. Another customer here, the original poster, the author of the thread, the OP, if you will, for all you OP people, who says, yeah, that makes sense. I know he's still setting it up. I just keep checking daily, though. A little hiccup going on there. We get some crying, laughing faces. Another user here, customer says, did you click enter when you put the number in? Usually it comes up without pressing enter, as my 5 other submissions come up without pressing enter. Obviously, I've tried hitting enter, but nothing comes up, just not result found. So then we have the admin of the group here, who says, don't panic. It could clearly be the system updating your order process as it's going through stages. Give it more time. So maybe the admin wasn't made aware of what was going on. Surely Dan was made aware by Ant that this is a huge issue. And between them, I guess they didn't decide to do the right thing and advise their customers on what happened. Maybe they thought that if they sweep it under the rug, that no one will get a hold of it. No one will be able to make a video about it and prove that they were right all along. Is that what happened? So that original post still hasn't been deleted or updated. It's still available at the time of recording here. So I guess we can take a look at the screenshot of the anonymous user who reached out to me, who reached out to them to fix the issue that was at hand. Again, very good on them for doing that, both for them and for everyone involved. I think they did the right thing. And unfortunately, we can't say the same for Dan's Pokestop, who was trying to sweep this under the rug. However many of those individuals from that company, that's the PSA official dealer. So not only this is going to reflect bad on PSA again. Again, the original video was a criticism of PSA doing that, not of Dan. I didn't have any dirt on Dan. There was no Dan dirt at the time. Now there's Dan dirt. This is bad. This is bad, guys. Don't do this. Absolutely don't do this. If you mess up, and there's regulations that you have to report that you messed up because you leaked everyone's info, you got to report it. Even though, no, people are not going to be impressed. It's better than hiding it. It's a little bit of a lack of transparency there. Even if there weren't regulations in place to prevent that from happening, it's still an issue, in my opinion. All right, so this is the screenshot where anonymous user did message Dan directly, but he didn't even bother to read it after raising the issue with his team. So you would think that his team has talked to Dan. You would think that he's overlooking all of this stuff. It should have been like a red alert, code red. Guys, we got to get this fixed right away. We got to advise everyone that their information was available. Nope, it didn't happen. So they also say, anonymous says to me, I feel like the community deserves to know that their data has been exposed publicly and has been dealt with poorly by an official PSA dealer. I think I've covered everything on there. Let me know if you have any questions. They were extremely helpful. All the information that was provided was extremely well put together. Truly appreciate that that this individual took time out of their day to not only attempt to help this PSA middleman, but also to help the people in the community once they didn't do what they were supposed to with that information. Unreal, absolutely unreal. Since we know there's gonna be a couple people in the comments that are gonna say, Rattle, you're not even from the UK. How do you know what our laws and regulations are? Well, we did the research on that. We got the ico.org.uk for that, and we can go in there under for organizations and personal data breaches, which is what we're dealing with here. That is, I would say, full name, phone number, address is probably some personal data. I don't think anyone signed up to have that information publicly available, but maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys were aware of that. You weren't. At a glance. All right, we got the nice at a glance here, the notes, and then we'll take a look at the most important points that we can show that they definitely did not adhere to. We have at a glance, the UK GDPR introduces a duty on all organizations to report certain personal data breaches to the relevant supervisory authority. You must do this within 72 hours of becoming aware of the breach where feasible. So I wonder who, what, and if that ever happened at any point. I have my doubts because I think they were just trying to hide the entire thing. If the breach is likely to result in a high risk of adversely affecting individuals' rights and freedoms, you must also inform those individuals without undue delay. That sounds about right. That sounds like something that didn't happen, that we can show here that didn't happen because everyone who is commenting about their order numbers on the Facebook group are left in the dark. Still to this time. Long after 72 hours, I might add. You should ensure you have robust breach detection, investigation, and internal reporting procedures in place. This will facilitate decision-making about whether or not you need to notify the relevant supervisory authority or the affected individuals, or both. You must also keep a record of any personal data breaches, regardless of whether you are required to notify. So we give it a little scroll down here. We got the checklists, the preparing for a personal data breach. I would say that the preparation probably didn't happen. They were notified by an outside source that that they were in violation of a personal data breach, but I don't know what they had in place, if anything. Clearly, I really don't believe that they had any sort of process in place. I do believe that they're all made aware. Surely Dan knows what's going on here, and whose decision it was to keep this quiet, we'll have to wait and see. So then, more importantly, we have responding to a personal data breach. And these 2 bullet points here that we do know that it did not happen. Checkpoint here. We have a process to inform affected individuals about a breach when their rights and freedoms are at high risk. We know we must inform affected individuals without undue delay. So, I mean, how much delay we got to give them here before they tell everyone? They seemingly have covered up the issue, but without notifying anyone, because I would imagine that they're probably afraid of the backlash. I know I would not be very impressed if all of my personal information was leaked because I was submitting through someone. That's you don't sign up for that. It's their responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen, and then in turn, it's PSA's responsibility to their business needs to be their business. That's what it comes down to. Again, that's what the original video was about. I didn't think Dan was an evil dude. I do think they messed up really bad here, and this is sketchbag to the extreme. But again, they need to run their own business, stop cheaping out, get a building there. Even if you're just forwarding things, you need to forward your own things because you're a big enough company. You're a big boy, PSA. Do your own crap. This is like this cheaping out on like getting other people to do your work for you is not working. And this is, I don't know what strike this is. This is at least strike 3 that I've covered on the channel. I'm sure there's been, well, no, I guess there's more than that. There's 4. We got Elon Musk. We got, I mean, on the big end of things, we've seen this is supposed to be the person that's cleaning up the mess from the previous mess up from the middleman incident. But now we got another incident a week after I make a video saying that it shouldn't happen. And that was probably shortly after the announcement that they were now a middleman. But to finish off here, we got to look at something funny, something hilarious here. Dan's Pokestop is behind on orders. We have 21st of March. They post that January is finished, so the January submission did not go out on time. And what kind of track record are we dealing with here? How does this person have time to do more to fix the middleman issue and get all those cards sent out when they can't even send out your orders to get fulfilled? Like, all they're doing is just forwarding the stuff. I mean, even if they had PSA in the UK, an actual official PSA in the UK, I'm not saying like some middleman crap that shouldn't exist. They don't even necessarily, I don't think they even need to open the orders. Maybe they want to open to verify the contents. But regardless, it's going to be shipped all in one package, preferably, like on a pallet or something. I don't know how that would work exactly, but it's got to be doable. PSA, you got a big wallet. Surely you can figure something out that makes sense financially. The people want to grade their cards that are from the UK. I think even it should make sense to actually open a grading facility there, but who knows? There's got to be some cost savings that they get from this. Otherwise, why are they putting the risk? There's so much risk involved in relying on some small company to run stuff like a big company when you're a big company. So how much of this falls on PSA for just being negligent after being burned, after customers being burned multiple times, several times? Who knows how many times that like middleman, like the smaller middleman stuff happened, and we just didn't hear about it, or just, I don't know, maybe we need to make a list, see how many individuals were affected, because it looks bad on them. It does. January is finished. Oh wait, we gotta give him the cowboy. January is finished. Guys, thank you everyone for your patience and understanding. I'm happy to confirm all Jan subs have now shipped to PSA. Bulk all premium services we are sent within. What is it with people recently that don't know the difference between were and we're? Apostrophes are hard, guys. They're hard. This is a few weeks longer than our 2 to 4 week processing time. However, based on the volume we received, I think by the time it's been a good job well done. Feb is on target for our 2-4 week completion with no issues. All order trackers will complete within the next 7 days. I appreciate this took longer than anticipated, but remember, we are the only PSA approved UK dealer. Yeah, and they shouldn't have those at all. Again, I repeat, they shouldn't have those at all. This means you're protected by the new standards. This does make us busy. This line is fucking golden. You can't make this shit up. Don't trade patience for risk anywhere else. It's okay, guys. Don't risk getting your cards held up somewhere. What you do want to risk is your information leaking. This is classic. Have a great day, all. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Remember, stay safe out there. Look after each other. Don't just submit your own cards. PSA, smarten the hell up. Get rid of the middleman system. It's bad. It's all around bad. It makes you look bad. It's a bad system. It's bound to fail no matter what. It's going to fail no matter what, because the people on the receiving end are not professionals. Whether you want to believe it or not, I guess we'll call them professionals. A professional middleman. These Pokemon businesses do not have what it takes. They're not set up in a way that you would be if you just opened your own crap. Stop cheaping out. Love you guys. Join the Discord. See you next time. Bye.